spinal discomfort as in joint pain. Muscular discomfort entirely up to you. If you need to stop and have a little stretch, stop and stretch. If you can keep it going for as long as you can. Usual props, a band, a belt, to help support the legs, and then the ball if you have one, or just a cushion, a pillow if you don't have the ball. So if you're seated, you're trying to find that nice and lifted seated position. So trying to create space at the front of the body. So making sure that I'm not dropping down, pressing down at the front, preventing the diaphragm, your big breathing muscle, from moving properly. So forcing yourself into an apical breath, forcing yourself breathing into the chest. So see if I can try and create some space, and then encourage the breath to drop down into the belly. If you're laying down, just allowing yourself to relax it down onto the mat, feeling the belly raising with the inhalation and then falling with the exhalation. So see if I can calm the breath and then calm the body down. And then just to focusing on that nice, relaxed belly breath, running a quick scan over the body. So if I'm seated, just trying to compare the pressure under the seat bones. Do I feel the same pressure? Am I maybe leaning more on one side than the other? If you're laying down, and notice the pressure at the back of the shoulders, at the back of the hips. Notice the position of the arms, the position of the legs. Are they the same? Are they slightly different? Is my head centered? Is there any tension? Is there any niggle into the body, somewhere around the hips, or into the back, into the shoulders, into the neck? I'm not changing anything. I'm just trying to feel what's going on and where everything is at the moment. And then as you feel that the breath feels a little bit calmer, a little bit easier, then focusing on the spine. Starting from the neck, I'm going to keep the shoulders nice and still, and then I'm just going to start turning the head from side to side. So nice easy rotations. Comparing right with left. As I turn one way, it feels easier. As I turn the other way, it feels a bit more restricted. I'm not forcing anything. Just to see if I can try and relax. With the corner of the eye, especially if you're seated, watch the shoulders. As the shoulders will tend to want to travel with the head. So see if you can keep them still, just turning the head while holding the shoulder girdle nice and still. 3, 2, 1. Easy back into the middle, and then I'm going to change the direction. This time I'm going to go into a little lateral flexion. So I'm going to bring the right ear down to the right shoulder, encouraging a gentle stretch onto the left side of the neck. And then I'm going to take the left ear to the left shoulder, encouraging a nice gentle stretch onto the right side. Making sure that the movement is not creating pinching, it's not creating pain, so there is no like tingling into the fingertips or any shooting pain radiating down the arms. So keeping it small. Same as you did for the rotation, noticing if it's actually the head that's moving towards the shoulder, or if you feel that if the shoulder is actually shrugging up to the head. See if I can keep the shoulders down, see if I can keep them relaxed. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing the head back to the middle. Tucking the chin down towards the chest. Reaching the hands behind the head. Just the fingertips light on the head. And then at the same time, I'm going to push down with the fingers and then lift up with the head. So the head shouldn't be going anywhere. I should be able to feel a nice gentle stretch going behind the neck. It's exactly the same as I'm lying down. I'm going to pick up my head I'm going to push down with the head and then hold up with the fingertips with the hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease the pressure and then release it back. Giving the head a gentle roll, making sure that the neck doesn't feel painful, doesn't feel sore. And then I'm going to go in reverse. Think of opening up the front of the throat. So if I'm lying down, I'm going to tuck the chin up towards the ceiling. I'm going to lift the chin up towards the ceiling so if I can open up through the front of the throat. If I'm seated, think of the head supported, making sure that I'm not just crushing it down. So I'm going to lift the first, and then I'm going to try and look up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Again, giving the head a gentle roll, making sure that the neck doesn't feel stiff, it doesn't feel tight. And then I'm going to move down into the thoracic spine. So similar kind of movement for the top of the spine. I'm going to start off with a little flexion extension. So imagine to be sending the breastbone inside of the rib cage. So I'm going to round into the shoulders, round into the upper back, and then I'm going to pull the breastbone out of the rib cage and then forward and up. So see if I can try and get a nice flexion as the breastbone goes in, and a nice extension as I take it out. If you're laying down, support the head with your hands so that as you're flexing, the head is supported, extend it, and then flexing again. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And releasing back, releasing the shoulders, adjusting the back, and then from flexion extension, we're going to move into lateral flexion. So if you're lying down, keep the support on the head. I'm going to pick up the head from the floor, and then I'm going to start flexing to the left. So the right hand stays on the head, with the left arm I'm going to reach down the left side of the body, then I'm going to ease back to the middle, and then flexing to the right, reaching down with the right arm. Back to the middle, and then to the other side. If you're standing, if you're seated, I don't need to support the head as the head is already supported on top of the shoulders. So I'm just going to focus on that little flexion from side to side. So reaching down the left, easing back to the middle, and then pulling down the right. Imagine your back to be against the wall. Think of your hips, your shoulders, and the head staying on the wall, making sure that I'm not leaning forward. I'm trying to move sideways. So the chest is still lifted, the head is still lifted. I'm just moving side to side. So see if I can create a little bit more movement into the back. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last time. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing through the back. and then we're left with rotations. So I'm going to stick the arms to the front. So whether I'm seated or laying down, I'm going to reach the arms straight forward, straight ahead, and then I'm going to start swinging them round. So I'm going to swing them around to the right, rotate as far to the right as I can reach, swinging them over to the left, rotating as far to the left as I can reach. And then easing back, and going over to the right, and then to the left. If you keep your hands together, as you swing the arms with the arm further behind, you can actually pull a little bit on the other arm. So I might get a better stretch around the back of the shoulder and into the middle of the back. So I can give it a little tug, a little pull. And then same as usual, notice the movement. It's always easier on one side than it is on the other. So I'm always going to focus on the stiffer side. So see if I can try and find a better movement. See if I can make it a little bit smoother, a little bit easier. If you're lying down, same thing. I'm just going to roll off from shoulder to shoulder, from side to side. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, adjusting the back, and then focusing on the lower back this time. I'm going to start off with a little, again, flexion extension. So if you're on the floor, if you're on the mat, use the floor to guide you. I'm going to tilt the pelvis backwards, so I'm going to press the lower back down into the mat, and then tilting it forward to see if I can try and lift it away. So I'm going to tilt back and then forward. So it's trying to rock the hips gently forward and back. So as if I was trying to massage the back of the hips and the back of the pelvis, scooping in from the belly, a little connection into the center, just trying to maintain that rocking going. If you're seated, think of the same movement, but see if you can be aware of the lower back doing the movement and not the upper back. So as I tilt the pelvis, see if I can be aware of movement happening down here at the bottom of the spine, not up here. So see if I can try and roll onto the back of the seat bones and then right up onto the very tip of the seat bones. So rolling back onto the tailbone and then coming up onto the seat bones. So tilting and releasing that tailbone. Tilting and releasing that tailbone. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing back to the middle, and then from flexion extension, I'm going to go into a little bit of a lateral flexion. So I'm going to go into a little hip hitch. So think of taking your right hip up towards the right side of the ribcage. So I'm going to hitch up on my right hip, and then I'm going to hitch up on the left. So if I'm seated, imagine to be walking your seat bones up and down onto the chair. So I'm going to pull up on the right, take back the right, pull up on the left, take back the left, pull up on the right, pull up on the left. So feeling a little tension into the side of the belly that is allowing that little hitch side to side. If you're lying down, making sure that the back of the hips stay flat against the mat, so there is no rotation. I'm just trying to pull up one, pull up on the other side, pull up on one, pull up on the other side. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, adjusting the hips or resetting the hips. And then I'm going to go into rotations again, working from the other end. So stop shuffling the feet and the knees nice and close together, allowing the arms to open out to the side. If you lie down on the back, I'm going to start rolling the hips, gently rolling the legs from side to side. If you're seated on the hips, so obviously the range of movement is very limited. So see if you can think of the arms and the legs working together. I'm going to try and push the legs to the right. So with my right hand, I'm going to grab hold of the left thigh and then push the legs to the right. Then easing back to the middle and then crossing the other way. And then pulling the leg across to the other side. So nice and easy from side to side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back. Relaxing the hips, releasing the legs. Just a little bit more movement through the spine. See if you can get the all of the spine to kind of like a play and act together. I'm going to cross the right leg over the left. It doesn't matter if it's a full cross or if I can just cross the feet as far as I can cross something. So I'm just going to either cross my shins or cross my thighs, whichever works easier for the hips or for the legs. Once the legs are crossed, I'm going to reach with my right hand under the left armpit. With the left hand, I'm going to go over the right shoulder. And then I'm going to give myself a nice tight hug. Then maintaining the hug, I'm going to turn the head to look around the right shoulder. And then I'm going to turn the torso to the left. I'm going to rotate as far as I can. I'm going to take 6 breaths here. 3 breaths through the nose, in and out of the nose, and then 3 breaths in and out of the mouth. So I'm going to breathe in 1. See if I can twist a little bit deeper. 2, 3. Breathe through the mouth. 1. Twist in a little bit deeper. 2. Twist in a little bit more. 3. And then easing back. Keep the hug around the shoulders. Keep the legs crossed. I'm going to turn the head to look over the left shoulder, the body to the right. Holding that twist. And then 3 breaths through the nose. 1. Twist in a little bit deeper. 2. 3. Breathe through the mouth. 1. 2. 3. And then easing back. I'm crossing the arms, I'm crossing the legs, relaxing the shoulders. I'm going to cross the other way. So left leg crosses in front of the right. So again, at the shin or at the thigh, whichever it's easier. Left hand goes under the right armpit, the right hand goes over the right shoulder. Give yourself that tight hug. Turning the head to look over the left shoulder, the body to the right. Hold it there. 3 breaths through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Breathe through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. Easing back to the middle. Turning the head to look over the right shoulder. The body to the left. 3 breaths through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Breathe through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. Ease back to the middle. And then releasing the arms and crossing the legs. Relaxing the shoulders, adjusting the shoulders, adjusting the hips. And then I'm going to go into flexion extension. So reaching the hands into the back of the neck. So wrap the hands around the neck. As if you were wearing one of those collar that you wear after you had a whiplash. So that is kind of like stretching and holding your head up. So I'm going to wrap the hands around the neck. I'm going to put a little traction into the neck as if I was trying to pull myself taller. And then maintaining that length through, I'm going to start looking up. I'm going to hold it here, same as before. 3 breaths through the nose, 3 through the mouth. In through the nose, 1, 2, 3. Breathe through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. Then tucking the chin towards the chest, putting a little bit more traction into the back of the neck, around the back of the shoulder, middle of the back. Holding it there. 3 breaths through the nose. 1, 2, 3. 3 through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. And then taking a deep breath in through the mouth. I want to rotate and open to the right. Exhale back to the middle. Deep breath in. Turn to the left. Back to the middle. Deep breath in. Right. Center. In. Left. Center. One more time on each side. Deep breath in the middle. Turn to the right. Breathe out. Go back to the center. Deep breath in. Turn to the left. Breathe out. Turn to the center. And then lifting the head back up. Looking forward. Looking up. Looking back. Keep the traction through the neck. And releasing back. Relaxing the arm down by the side. Relaxing the shoulders. Adjusting the position of the head. The back is a little bit warmer. I'm going to focus on the hips and the shoulders now. So one arm at a time, I'm going to start bringing the right arm up to the front. I'm going to move it as far up, as far back as I can. And then I'm just going to take it back down again. Then with the left arm, I'm going to do the same. Reaching it up and over. And then I'm going to take it back. And then onto the other side. So little lift, a big lift, it doesn't matter. It's whatever feels comfortable for the shoulders, whatever feels comfortable for the neck, for the upper body. Just making sure that as the arm is moving, the shoulder is not shrugging up. So it's trying to keep a nice long neck. I can turn my head around. There is no tension into the neck, and there is no tension into the jaw, into the face. If you're lying down, taking advantage of gravity, I'm just going to let gravity help me to move the arm further back. Just making sure that there is no pain in the shoulder. 3, 2, 1. And releasing back. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the arms, and now try with both arms at the same time. So I'm going to take them both up and behind, and then I'm going to pull them back by the side. Think of a nice gliding movement into the shoulder joint, making sure that nothing is grinding. So it feels loose, it feels relaxed. And then especially if you're in your seated position, as the arms are coming up, making sure that you feel that the chest is coming up with the arms, so it's not dropping down. So I'm not hunching. Again, I'm not shrugging and stiffening through the neck. 4, 3, 2. Last one. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, adjusting the shoulders, adjusting the upper body, and then I'm going to focus on the legs. Same as I did for the arms, I'm going to go up and down. So one leg at a time. I'm going to focus on my right leg, see if I can pull up on the right, then ease the right, and then I'm going to pull up on the left. So if you're seated, you can use the arms to encourage that lift, to guide the leg up into that lift. If you're lying down, you can still use the arms to encourage that little lift. It doesn't matter if I feel that the leg is so heavy that even using the arm so stiff, I don't seem to be able to take the foot off the ground. Just to see if you can be aware of the front of the hip. Picture the hip joint closing, the thigh bone moving towards the chest. So see if I can try and find the connection into the hip joint, into the front of the hip, to help me create that little lift at the front. 5, 4, 3, making sure that you're breathing, not holding the breath. 2, 1 more time on each side. And easing back, relaxing the legs, relaxing the hips, and then going back into the shoulders and into the arms. This time I'm going for a lateral raise. So I'm going to swing the arm around the side, bring it towards the head, returning the arm back by the side, and then with the other arm I'm going to do the same, and then coming back. So same as usual, adjust the angle of the swing. I might find that taking the arm straight out to the side is a bit too much on the shoulder. So if that's the case, I'm just going to allow the arm to come forward slightly. So I'm going to still move into that kind of like a round arc shape and movement, but I'm keeping it a little bit shallower instead of going so high. And then same as you did for the front raise, making sure that it doesn't feel as if the shoulder that is pulling up the arm. It's just the arm moving into the shoulder socket. So I'm going to keep it nice and loose, nice and relaxed. I can move the head again from side to side. The neck doesn't feel stiff, it doesn't feel tight. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, and then same as we did for the front raises, going into the double arm. So I'm going to scoop both arms around the side, and then I'm going to take them back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the upper back, and then going back into the hips. Same as we did for the arms. So we're going to go into a lateral movement. So one leg at a time. I'm going to open up the right leg out to the right, bring it back to the center. I'm going to open up left and then back to the center. Same as I did for the front lift, for the knee lift. I might use the hand to guide the leg out and then to bring the leg back. See if you can, again, picture the top of the leg moving into the hip socket, just to see if I can try and get the hip joint to move. So whether it's a small movement, whether it's a big movement, it doesn't matter. Just to see if I can picture that movement. The thigh bone moving out and then coming back in again. Moving out and then traveling back in again. And then same as usual, if you're lying down on the back, and you're getting that little opening and closing going from one to the other side. See if you can be aware of the hips, making sure that the hips are not rolling off to the side. So the pelvis is staying stable in the middle. It's just the leg that is moving off to the side. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Easing the legs back to the middle, and then this time we're going to try both legs at the same time. So I'm going to let the legs open out, and then I'm going to squeeze them back together again. I'm going to let them go out and away from each other, and then squeeze them back together. If you're seated, imagine almost like to be dragging the feet along the mat, so I can go a little bit wider, and then I'm going to squeeze them back. I'm going to go a little bit wider, and then squeeze them back. Using the hands to help me. If I need a little guidance, just using the hip, using the leg on its own. If I feel that I don't need any help coming from the arms. 5. 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing, relaxing the hips, so releasing the legs, and then going back onto the arms. At this time, I'm going to start mixing the directions together. So I'm going to go into circles. So focusing on one arm at a time. I'm going to start raising the right arm up to the front. I'm going to take it up as far back as I can, and then I'm going to circle around to come back. Then with the left, I'm going to do the same. So up to the front, and then round the side to come back. So the biggest the circle you can draw with the right, the bigger circle you can draw with the left arm. Making sure that, again, the shoulder is staying relaxed. As I change the direction from front to side, there is no grinding, there is no pinching, there is no pain into the shoulder. So from the front, around the side, back, from the front, around the side, back. Making sure that the chest is staying lifted, so I'm not hunching and dropping. So smaller circle if it needs to be smaller. Nice big circle if I can keep it nice and big. 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing back, relaxing the shoulders, reversing the circle. So I'm going to go round the side first, and then I'm going to come down the middle. Round the side with the other arm, and then come down the middle. If you're seated, you can take advantage of the space. So as I go around the side, I can actually even turn to make the circle even bigger. And then turn to make the circle bigger the other way. If I'm laying down, obviously I'm limited for space. I'm going to make the circle just as big as obviously the floor allows me to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now try with both arms at the same time. So I'm going to go round the side. Nice big lift through the chest, swinging the arms up, and then I'm just going to let them drop at the front. 2, nice big opening, nice big circle, and then releasing back. 3, and back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then reverse in the circle, a nice big lift to the front, and then I'm going to circle out and around. 2, a nice big lift to the front, and then round. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, last one, 8, and releasing back. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, releasing the shoulders, releasing the upper back. If you're lying down, rolling over onto your side, and in your own time, pushing yourself up into sitting. It's finding that comfortable seated position, so setting the legs wherever it's easier, leaning onto the sofa, leaning onto the wall, using the arms behind to give a little support if I feel that I need that support. And then same as we did at the beginning, see if we can find a space at the front. So instead of letting the ribcage drop and squash the belly, See if I can sit up nice and tall, nice and lifted. And then maintaining that lift to see if I can open up the space even further. I'm going to start pushing the chest forward. I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to let the shoulders drop down at the back. I'm going to look forward. I'm going to look up. I'm going to look back. And then I'm going to release, allowing the chin to drop down to the chest and the shoulders to come forward. I'm going to run my way forward, run my way down towards the mat. And then up again. I'm curling all the way back up. Lifting through the chest. So looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then releasing, coming forward. Rounding and rolling down and towards the ground. Last time. I'm curling all the way back up. Extending your way through. Lifting up as high as you can. And then releasing back to the front. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow. Give yourself a massage.